We got some beautiful weather here in southern Arizona, expecting maybe a little bit more snow tonight. Why am I giving the weather forecast? I feel like a weatherman. I don't need to talk about the weather. Okay, never mind. Here we go. Thank you for checking out this week's sermon recap video. We got back into the Gospel of Matthew on Sunday, and we saw Jesus teaching us about fasting. And Jesus assumes that we're going to fast. He says, when you fast, not if you fast, if by chance you get around to it sometime where you want to. He says, no, when you fast. That's an expectation that the disciples of Jesus will indeed at some point participate in fasting. Now, for us, we always joke as Baptists, hey, we're the potluck people. We got to have food at everything. And almost every church event, there's food, and there's nothing wrong with that. Food is a good thing given to us by God, and yet sometimes we need to take a break from that and fast. And fasting, what it does at its core is it induces physically the feelings that we should have spiritually. We feel hunger physically when we don't eat. And what we're reminding ourselves of is either the reality that we are spiritually hungry for God, or the fact that that's what we need to have is real hunger for God. And so I encourage you, look at Jesus' teaching. There's a right way and a wrong way to fast. Fasting is not to be engaged in just as some religious activity so that you can impress other people, because they will be impressed. Honestly, if you sit down at a table and everybody else eats and you don't, and you're like, well, it's because I'm fasting, people will be like, wow, that guy is amazing and spiritual, whatever. But Jesus says, don't be like that, because that's the only reward you'll have. What you want as a Christian is to hunger for God spiritually, and then God will reward that, and He'll satisfy that. Even as we wait for the full satisfaction, that full satisfying meal we'll enjoy one day with Jesus when He returns, even now we can experience the presence of God. Even now we can enjoy communion with Him. And fasting is one way to enjoy that and work towards that. And so I encourage you, go ahead and engage in this practice. Start small. Don't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a 20-day fast. Probably a bad idea. Why don't you work on missing lunch one day and focus in on prayer during your lunch hour, and then maybe grow it out, maybe don't. We don't want to be legalists about this, and we don't want to expect that everybody will pursue this in exactly the same way. But it is a biblical teaching, and it is an expectation that Jesus has for His disciples, that we would develop that hunger, ultimately a spiritual hunger, even through the physical means of fasting. So I hope that you'll do that, and I hope that you've already turned to Jesus and know the hope of Him satisfying the every longing of your soul which God has placed there, because it will indeed be filled and satisfied only in Christ Jesus. Well, I hope that you'll come out on Wednesday nights. We're talking about other spiritual disciplines, and we'll eventually do a whole teaching on fasting as well. So come and join us as we learn how to grow as Christians on Wednesday nights. And I hope you'll join us on Sunday as well as we continue through the Gospel of Matthew. Thanks.